Hey traders, Parker here with another indicator and actually an update to the DTR ATR indicator that I had put out. I actually made a couple of updates to that, so let's get it on the screen so we can check it out. As you can see, I changed a lot of colors on it. This was all gray, but I add these labels to it. You have your high, your low, your high-low range. That's the high minus the low. You have your ATR, average ATR, average true range. You have the high-low range is 67% of the average day true range has been used. You have your day change that's been used. You can look up here and you can see that right here. This is the monetary, the net change versus the percentage change. And over here, you have your fib levels. You have your ATR high, which you can see the stock is actually moving above this ATR high right here. And this 50 is actually your previous day close. That was the other thing that I changed about it, was I was using a day's open before, but then I got better results when I actually used the previous day close and used the ATR range with it. And this is the results that I got. You can see how this is on daily, and I have it set on the day. The average is simple for the ATR period. You have your the length is 20. You can show labels, you can show ATR labels. You can cut off all these labels right here. You can show the bubbles on the chart. Your range average, you can either use the ATR or you can use the days range. The 20-day average high minus the low will give you that range. You can use that instead of using average true range. You can calculate the day's change from either today's open or the previous day close. And then you have your fib levels here. And all this stuff right here is completely customizable. So you can see your bubbles. This dashed line right here is the day's high. This white line right here is the day's low. But you can see from the results of the indicator, once the stock actually opened up, let me put on the day open. I thought it would be right there. Let's do this. Yeah. Daily open. And I'm going to make that white just for my sake. And I'm going to show only last period. No, we're going to show all periods. That should give me all. Yeah. Okay. So the stock opened up right here. It came down this far, came back up to its open, struggled a little bit, came to this fib. And you can see where it dropped back down to the fib and ran up to the next fib. If you know anything about Fibonacci retracements, they're retracements. You're looking for a stock to retrace or go to those levels. They work as somewhat like magnets. So we can check out the other time periods as well. Just remember, this 50 is your previous day close. And I'm using the ATR range going up and down from that. And that's where you're getting your fib levels from. You can see right here, yesterday was complete sell-off because of Apple. Here's your day open. This white line came down to the 61.8 below the 61.8 fib. Paused for a second, tried to rebound, came all the way down to its previous day close, smashed right through it. Tried to recapture it, but fell right down to this fib right here. If this is the 50, this should be the 38.2, and this is 23.8, I believe, fib. And this was yesterday's or today's too, so Monday's low. So, and those are the changes I made to the indicator. It actually works from my experience really well. I'm gonna push it up. I found this to be real odd when I seen this, but it was one of the days when I was watching it and it seemed like it worked exactly like I hoped it would on this day right here. You can see right here, here's your days open. It ran up to this fib right here. It's probably a 78 fib, and then this right here is not a fib. It's 90% of. I mean, it's 10% away from the high. So it's a 10% ratio from the ATR high. And you can see how it bounced around in that area right there, and then it finally went up to this field right here. So the way you use this is actually looking for price targets in areas that where price might be magnetized to, as I've heard a lot of traders call the fibs. You can see right here it worked pretty good. SPY. This is the market's actually open. So SPY came up to this area, bounced around. This is your ATR high. And it couldn't really get above it, but then it finally did break above it. And normally, I would have on my volume indicator, which I'm really not going to show, but you've seen it before. It's just going to color the bars. But what I wanted to show you was the amount of effort in those bars at the top. You can see those bars. You have high volume right here. But then you got this high volume right here. That no, it's not. That's average volume. I brought it back down, but it actually couldn't break above that. But actually, once it did, but it actually was able to. But you had a lot of volume trading today into the open, and it finally picked the direction. And one of the things I wanted to show you was. This is another this is what I wanted to show you. This is another update that I did to this indicator. If you previously bought this version of the Bicep volume indicator, it's now called the Bicep volume difference. And it's basically showing you the pressure in the candles, the Bicep volume pressure average within these candles right here. And you can see you had all this pressure going up to the top. And it really gave you an opportunity to get in. But you can see once it made this level, volume really just went away, even for the buying and selling. But once it started pushing back in, you can see how this Bicep volume difference indicator actually showed you, hey, buying volume is coming back in. The blue bars are showing you where selling volume was overtaking the buying volume. But this indicator itself, it actually adds the difference. So between buying and selling. So if the difference between buying and selling is higher, it's going to add it to the previous buying and selling candle. So that's what it means by buying, selling volume difference, or buying, selling volume pressure difference. So from there, it'll continue to add it up. And if the sell volume is higher on the current candle, then it would subtract that difference from the indicator, and that's where you would get these lower bars or lower ones. And once selling volume overtakes buying pressure volume or average, it'll actually go to the negative like it's doing. So, but it's not telling you get out of the trade. It's just telling you what's going on behind the scenes with buying and selling volume pressure. So one of the ways I've found to help me out, or wanted to help out, because I always told you, pair this thing with another indicator. So we're going to pair with this indicator that I'm working on. I really shouldn't be showing it to you on this video. Should be saving it for another video when I actually do the video for the update with the buying sell volume difference indicator. But this is much like my buy sell volume wave, and this right here, buy sell. Let's see, what did I call that thing? The HCL3 wave. This one doesn't have volume in it. This one does have volume in it. And this is what volume would cause the twisting and turning within these. If you look right here, it lines up perfectly with this indicator. And that's basically because the volume difference has gone to the negative side. But like I said before, you want to pair this with another indicator. This inner line right here is the closing average. And I have it set at 12. So it's not telling you get in or out, but if you're using move averages, yeah, you want to look at this and say, hey, I feel comfortable getting in on this according to this with the buy sell difference indicator and the and its upper version. here will help you decide whether you want to get in a trade or get out of a trade or not. Right now, it hasn't moved that far below this from your closing average. So you can put this on multiple different ones, but I have this right here at the bottom set for exponential, and that's why I set this one exponential. But you'll be able to change them both from either exponential or simple or whatever you want to change them to. They're going to be fully customizable. And one of the other things that you can see within this is this difference average. So this is what I talked about earlier with the difference average. You can see selling volume actually overtook buying, but this is going to be all on an average. It's not going to be current. It's all on average. And the trend is just based off of Heikin-Ashi and this right here and the difference histogram. So you have your buying volume average and your selling volume average, and this is the difference between, this is the difference added up between the two, or the difference added, the difference added up between the two over the course of the day. But you can change this average as well. I have it set at 12. If you watched my videos before, you know on a 5 minute I use 12 because 12 bars gives me an hour. 48 bars gives me 4 hours, and 96 bars gives me 8 hours. So one of the neat ways in using this, which I wasn't going to show you, which like I said before, I shouldn't be showing on this video, but I actually have it all set up within one. If THINKORSWIM will cooperate and allow me to do it, let's see what that looks like. And I have all these set on simple, but we're going to change on exponential. So what you're looking at here, this top one is at 12. This middle one is at 48. This bottom one is at 96. So these are all move averages, but for me, as I said before, they're according to time or according to the amount of bars or whatever time frame I'm on. I would change these. But because I'm on a 5 minute, this one's set to 12, this one's set to 48, this one's set to 96. And that's how I pretty much use this indicator. And what you're looking for when I say those averages or those time periods is that it's on an hourly average. Is this above the 4 hours? Is price above an hourly average? Is price above a 4 hour average? Price above the 8 hour average? And that's pretty much it right here. Here's your downturn when it came to Apple. And you can see how the hourly really pretty much went below all of them first, because this is the blue line. That blue line within the pink is your hourly. This will be your 4 hour, and this will be your 8 hour. And you can see how they all just did what the move average would normally do, but they all converge down. But this is the same indicator, just on different time frames. So we can go over SPY. We can see it gets kind of messy as well at certain time periods, but those are the time periods where you say, I'm not going to take a trade because there's no direction on the hourly, the 4 hour or the 8 hour. But you got your direction here. When you seen this blue line, it's the hourly moved above the 8 hour and the 4 hour. And then you have right here where the 4 hour moved above the 8 hour. I'm looking for one of the ones where it's like really just messy on the day. I guess this one would be one. You can see how you got so much twisting and turn and everything. Like I said before, you have the volume also in it. So that'd be the way that you would use this indicator. Yeah, that would be the way that you would use this indicator to help you make trades or stay in a trade or possibly get out of a trade. But none of this is Bible or anything. This is one of the systems that helped me and is currently working for me. May not work for you, but take the information and see how you can best use it. But like I said, I really shouldn't have been showing that indicator on here. Should have been sticking to the actual indicator that this video is actually about. So I'm going to take all this stuff off and go back to the DTR indicator. And right now I have it set on a daily. So we're looking at it on daily time frame. And I have it set for a 20-day average. You can change it to a weekly. And I usually change my weekly to a 4-week. And this would be last week's closing price. You can see how it hit that fib right there. And then it jumped back up, came back to last week's closing price, and then went ahead and went up from there. And it kind of consolidated around this 61.8 fib. And then it continued on. But the way that I really like to use is on a monthly. So we would change this to the month. And I'll leave this at 4. I'll leave it at simple. So from there, this is not going to work on a... you have to have it on 30 days. 30 days. So we'll push it back to a 30-day, 15-minute. And you get the same, you get this right here. This is your high-low range for the month. This is your current high-low range between the high minus low. Just like everything I said before, you could change this from ATR to the actual averages. And this day change will actually be the month change. So you can look at SPY. We're going to actually take it above to a higher time frame, to a year. And I really want to take it up to 3 years. So we do 3-year day. So we're looking at the S&P 500, and I'm gonna take my volume indicator off. Did it not? It went on the weekly. 3-year day. And you can see right here, this is your monthly low, this is your monthly high, current monthly high, current monthly low. And you can see from this previous month's closing right here, where SPY hung out pretty much for the beginning of the month, and for this middle, for on the 14th and 13th, and then it made its move back up to this 61.8 fib, and hopefully it can reach us up to this 401 fib. But if not, it could possibly drop back down to this previous closing price for the month, or this fib down here. It works pretty good. When I was looking at it on the pandemic down here, you can see it almost went down there to the actual fib. This fib is actually 2017, but it only made it down to 2018.26, and then from there it started making its move back up. And that's pretty much how this indicator works. So you actually have fibs above the ATR high, which is red line, and the ATR low is this green line. One of the other things I was really just seeing how this thing would actually work. I actually put it on a year, and I put this to 10. And these were my results. This is during the pandemic. This is your closing price for the, 2019. You can see how price basically bounced around between there. Then when it actually collapsed, it collapsed down to this field right here. So this would be 2020's low. And then you have your fibs in between. You can see how SPY really respected those fibs and during that time period. And even during this time period of 2021, it respected that. Here's your closing price for 2020. Here's your next fib right here. And you can see how it bounced around in between that. And, excuse me, here's your closing price for 2021. And you can see how this SPY really respected those fibs. Even though it consolidated, it dropped below this fib, consolidated, came back up to this fib, but couldn't get quite above the 38.2 fib, but it's dropped back down below. And right now, like I said before, this is not a Fibonacci number, but it's a 10% ratio of the range. And right now, this is your ATR low for the year based on a 10-year average. And that's at 401.18. And you remember when I had it on the monthly, that's pretty close right there on the money. So, but this will be the end of this video. And like I said before, this video was supposed to have been just about the DTR, daily true range indicator, and the updates I made to it. But I actually included the difference in volume of buying and selling average pressure indicator as well, and the upper version. So I might as well include one more. Those of you who are familiar with my fractal indicator, the fractal indicator that I had, supply and demand indicator, basically I took that same code or that same technology and I put it in this with my Bicep volume difference. And you can see once it raised up, it created a new area. So it actually colors the area for the buying and selling pressure volume. And you can see right here, if a certain area of support is below the main one, it's not going to show. If close is below one of the areas of support, it's not going to show it. Just like here, once close broke through it, it's not going to show it anymore because it's not considered support anymore. Same situation with resistance. You can see right here, once price broke above that, it showed it's no longer being resistance, but it ran into this resistance block right here, came back down, and as an old adage is, old support becomes new resistance, and old resistance becomes new support. And in this case, it actually fell back in between these two right here, but it couldn't hold it. But it actually broke back above and is attempting to break back above this area of resistance, according to the buy-sell volume difference of volume pressure. Yeah. So that's one other indicator I have in the works. I'm working on to make sure everything works, especially when it comes to all the bells and whistles that go along with this indicator. But this is the end of the video. I hope that everything I've said has been helpful. If you have any comments or anything, please leave them in the comment section. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And as always, I wish you the best and God bless.